Okay, hello and welcome either back or to my YouTube channel. My name is Raina and I am so grateful to have you here today. We're going to be talking about, I guess there's two topics that we're talking about. The first primary one is about speaking and talking, and I almost wanted to say the words like commanding a group. I'm not sure if that's the correct terminology to use right now, but we're just going to flow with it. So, I'm somebody that is very shy. I might have like a social media personality, but I am very shy. I'm very introverted. I don't like speaking. I will literally avoid any sort of like group, community, speaking, anything. I will avoid it. However, there are certain times where you need to speak. I'm so confused because I turned my food off because I had this download, but it's cooking and then the lights just flickered. Let's make sure this is off. I don't edit my videos, so come with me to ensure that this is off. It definitely was not off. Let's keep going. At least I caught it now. I was like, that's too loud. Okay. Let me get this thing set up again. Okay. Let's welcome to the introduction of that video. Chaotic. But when I have something to say, it's like, I gotta say it. So let's go back into the topic. So sometimes we have these things that we need to share or speak, or we feel encouraged to like share a message to a group of individuals. And it might not be necessarily like the time or place, or even take it back. When's the last time that you just spoke to somebody? Like, when's the last time that you just took authority of a room and just spoke and like gave a collective a message, and not on social media, and not when you're teaching or leading something? When's the last time you were in a group of strangers surrounded by people that you don't know and you just share a message? Probably never, or like school. Like, it's probably very rare for you to have that experience. And if it's not, amazing, like literally 10 out of 10, amazing. But for me, it's something that, I mean, I'm not usually in circumstances in which I'm around a lot of people that I could gather and address them. But one thing that really confuses me about modern day society is we are so isolated from each other. Like, we don't talk. Like, it's really weird to think about. Like, you're walking down the street at the same time as somebody and you just don't talk, and there's no connection, there's no community. Like, we've lost this sense of community and this sense of collaboration, and the second that we switch that is the second that we, start to make things happen together. I've had it where it's like, oh, you're waiting for a plane to be delayed, and it's like, if all these minds came together right now, what magic we can make, but we don't talk to each other, and it's weird. Like, it's weird. And I understand, we're all so different, so it's like hard to get a collective or group of people who are on the same path to be able to like create just at a random space. But I also think that in some moments when you feel like you have something to say and you need to address a group, that you should address the group wherever you are. So I have two examples of this. I actually did one of them today, which honestly, I got a lot of dirty looks for it. And I'll never understand like being the most like positive and empowered individual and then people still hate you. But for whatever reason, I felt like that group needed that message. But let's take it back to the first time that I did this, and this was in Sedona in 2023 in the summer. It was summer solstice. I was at Airport Mesa, and if you know, like Airport Mesa solstice, like you're looking at like 100, 200 people just on that small little spot, not the sunset view, but on the rocks. And after the sun went down, I was like, I have to speak. I was just like, I can't be sat in a vortex with like 100+ strangers and not gather them to some degree and speak a message. Actually, this is the third time that I've spoken out loud. The first one I have buried deep because it was, yeah, it's a story. And I will share it because it is like my words on, I don't even know what they were making, but somewhere in a palace in Indonesia is something that I said at a dinner. It was an interesting timeline. But we'll focus on Sedona because I don't think I've integrated that yet. But sometimes you just know like you need to speak. And so when I speak in front of a group, it's usually very targeted. Like, it's very specific. I'm not going to yap on. I'm going to be really short. I'm going to be really brief. And I'm just going to say what needs to be said. because you won't find people in public who are just going to say positive things, who are just going to say like, no matter what you're going through, I hope you never stop searching for your purpose. Or you rarely will find people who will just thank a group of individuals for fighting their path and continuing to navigate through whatever they're going through, and or wishing you empowerment or whatever it ends up being. It's really strange that that doesn't happen more often. And so in Sedona that summer, you know, I got everyone's attention, those 100 people, and I gave it was probably like a little 30-second speech, no more, no less, just on purpose. I believe it was connected to purpose back then. But those are the types of things that you never know the impact that speech is going to have on somebody. And so even if it's scary, even if nobody approaches you afterwards to say thank you, I had that happen in Sedona where a girl approached me, and then I had another person offer photography to me for that. And it's like, it's not about, and what I've learned today, it's not about how the crowd receives you. It's about how you received the message and then fearlessly went on to speak, despite that being like most people's biggest fear. Your ability to address a group of people and speak the words that need to be said in that moment is what matters. Like, that's what matters. It's not about how they receive you. It's not about if people judge you or roll their eyes at you for like speaking or being positive or whatever type of judgment. Sorry, I went through an experience where I got really judged today. I'll share it in a second. But how they receive you doesn't matter. It's about your ability to receive the message to speak and then speak. Like, that's what matters. Because somebody in that room might have needed that message. I've had somebody say something to me that to most people would just be in the passing, but to me, 10 years later, it still is an instrumental part of my life. And so I do not underestimate the power of speech and using your voice, especially to address a collective. So now let's get into today. I had a really powerful experience at a breathwork session. Honestly, 10 out of 10, like the best breathwork experience that I've ever had outside of like my own breathwork. 10 out of 10. I will give it that. And that's rare to get, like a 10 out of 10 for me of like, usually I can't even enter like a yoga shala because the energies are too dark. So 10 out of 10 for me. But I had a really transformational experience, you know. I was moving through some really deep things about, you know, the new earth and continuing on this journey and just going through the most transformational experience. It's, if you've done breathwork, you get it. It's really hard to explain afterwards. But after the class was finished, I felt this propelled energy to speak, because a lot of what happened for me inside of my breathwork was connected to serving my mission and doing my purpose and reconnecting the earth and supporting in the future generations. And so I was like, well, I'm in this room of, you know, I would say that obviously not the target audience of the message. I just, in like retrospect, it's just that was not the target audience of the message. But it was like, that was exactly who needed to be there and receive that. Even though it may not been received well. But I just, at the end, it was maybe a 10-second thing. And I feel like I said something along the lines of, I don't remember because it was kind of scary. I don't like speaking, like to address a room like that's hard. But I said something along the lines of like, thank you to everybody for all of the work that you did in the class today, because I understand that breathwork is extremely deep. We all go through our own processes, and we're all fighting our own battles and our own wars. So whatever you're currently fighting right now, I wish for you to continue on this journey and never give up, because we need more people like you in this world. So something like that, but better. Yeah, what? So I'm sitting here like, why do I get judged? And it's like, well, why did Jesus get judged? You know what I mean? But yeah, after the class, I just got a lot of dirty looks from the women. The men did not judge at all. The men were actually like, you too. Like, it was kind. It was weird. It was 70% men, 30% women, if not more. There was only 4 women and there was about 7 to 8 men. Like, it was never been in a breathwork class with that balance, but I think that that's really good, and it really shows the way that the earth's shifting. So good for that. Good on you guys. But the women afterwards gave me the dirtiest looks that I have ever received. And I'm literally sitting there like, I'm so sorry for spreading joy. Like, I'm so sorry for being empowered in my own message and walking with integrity enough to face my own fears, to speak at the end of a class, to share a message, to have an impact. I'm so sorry. And, you know, I walked away from that class like on a high, but then the impact of the woman really took away from my experience. A part of me was truly like, wow, I wish I never spoke. I wish I never added value. I wish I never, you know, even integrated with this community. I should have just stayed silent. But at the same time, it's like, but what if one of those people needed that message? What if one of those people needed that message? What if one of you need that message? And I wouldn't be sitting here recording this video after this class if I didn't say that. You know? And so it's like, you never know the impact that your words and your actions have on people. And this is how you actually embody this work, is you go out and do it. I can't speak on visibility and speaking your truth and creating conscious content, but not go out and speak my truth in public. Like, that's, I can't think of the word right now, but that just doesn't equal out. That's not embodied. I can't help people with visibility, but then hide my own self. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not walking in truth. That's, if you were to be doing this type of work that I do, you know, helping people with visibility, helping people in their spiritual business, helping people with finances and abundance and all of these things, but then not embody that? Like, no. I'm going to go out and I'm going to speak the truth even when I'm shaking. I'm going to go out and speak the truth even if that's not my tribe. Because who knows, maybe those words impacted somebody and I just don't know. Maybe those words impacted me. Maybe those words impact you, right? And in the takeaway, it's like, instead of being so worried about judgment from other people, and this is connected to the witch wound, I do have a whole quantum healing bundle to help you clear that if you want support with that, and embodied, that work is embodied in the way that I operate, so you know that it works. It's the best way to share it. It's like, well, it worked for me and it worked for so many other people, so you can get that below. It's only like $100 USD, I think. You can find the information in the description box. But being able to clear out judgment of like if I was so afraid of what other people thought about me, I wouldn't have been able to do that, right? Because we need more of that. I want more of that. Like, let's be real. I don't want this individualized shit anymore. I want community. Like, if you're going to a spiritual themed class, you know, do your own thing. You don't need to always partake in community. I understand having your own experiences, right? But I also really highlight the fact that if you get a group of spiritual people in the room, connect, speak, try to gather the group together, because that's the thing that I don't like. And I mean, for some things, like if I go into a breathwork class, truthfully, I probably don't want to talk to other people, maybe at the end. But I do think that there's an importance of connection, or there should be some sort of thing, or like some sort of session that is like literally communicative and collaborative. Because if you were to get the same people who are doing this work in a room together, I guess this is literally my New Earth University mastermind, but I want it to be the in-person side of it. But at least we have the virtual side of it, where we get all of the New Earth leaders in the same room masterminding. You know how quick we'd move? You know how quick we'd move? Because we're not doing it alone. We're doing it together. And that's what we have to do. Like, we have to do it together. There's no time and there's no space to not do all of this work together anymore, right? We have to gather collectively and do this freaking work. Because the longer that we pretend like we can just do it on our own is the longer that it actually takes. And we don't have the time to not do it on our own. Or we don't have the time to do it on our own right now. We need to get together. We need to collaborate. And that's why I run programs like New Earth University, which at the center of it is this collaborative energy. At the center of it, in 2026, when we go into the mastermind side of it, it is getting together on calls and planning and actually adding value to other people's New Earth projects and what are they building, or maybe we want to collaborate. Who knows where that leads, but trust me that that's going to lead somewhere. Because when you can gather all of the New Earth leaders into one place, if you're not focused, and this is a huge thing that I learned in 2023, if you're not focused on your own 100, like all of your 100% energy on your personal projects, and you have the time and space to collaborate with other people or speak to other people, that's where the miracles happen. And that is a better use of time and energy if you can gather as many New Earth leaders as possible. And that's what we're doing inside of New Earth University. We already have so many incredible individuals who have joined us. It is truly like a soul tribe, a soul family. And if you want to learn more about New Earth University, you can contact me directly. It is a mastermind. I'm not supposed to call it that, but that's like the best, that's the correct business terminology, is that it is a mastermind, but it is more of like a school where you're getting education and training. You're also getting the spiritual energetics, like the quantum healing, the channeled messages, that side of things, the energetics and the embodiment. But then you're also getting the education and training, but then you're also getting the collaborative communicative group. You're also creating with the other people if you decide to. So yeah, it's like school for New Earth leaders. That's the way to put it. But I liked school. So it's like, I know some people like hated it, but I was like, I was very dedicated. But these are the things that, you know, it's like you really need to learn. So that is a little bit more about New Earth University. And if you do want to focus specifically on like visibility, clearing up that grid of judgment, I do have my witch wound healing bundle that covers like the witch wound and the typical things: sisterhood wound, judgment, jealousy, all that's in there. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that maybe this inspired you to speak the next time you feel that urge. Maybe you're, you know, I guess as we wrap up, I'll drop the big one and then talk about it in a different video to extend it. But at one point in my life, I somehow found myself in a dinner with, I think it was like called like the Kings and Millionaires dinner. I don't remember the exact name of it, but I somehow found myself in this dinner in Indonesia with like all of the royal families. And I don't know really how I got myself into that situation, but I was there. And at the end, there's this opportunity to speak. And you could say something, I forget what it was, but it was like, I think if it was like, if you have anything to share, and then they were going to write it on this like something like art piece, and then they were going to hang it in like the king's area or whatever. That's as close to my memory as I can get from that experience. It's raining. Really? I'm not ready for the rain yet. Can you pause for 3 minutes? Thank you. It literally stopped. Okay. That's hilarious. It's gonna pour when it pours now, though. Actually reminds me of the story. But I was the first person to be like, me. Like, I was gonna take the opportunity to speak. I don't remember what I said. It was probably something along the lines of like, don't stop. Like, it was something about like, it was something of a purpose. Usually if I have the opportunity to speak, I'm going to say something about soul's purpose, because I think that's the most important thing. No, I'm going to share that story in another video because it is about to start to rain. I do not want my laptop to get wet. The last one fell in the ocean. But what I will end this video with is, if you were in a room of 100 people, any people, it could be the most influential people, it could be your friends and family, it could be strangers, but if you were in a room with 100 people, what would you say? What would you say? Because I think that when you consider what you would actually say to other human beings, you'd be surprised, because you have to get, at least for me, it's like the depth of like, if I could be seen and recognized and heard from one sentence, what would that sentence be? And that's how I consider speaking, is that like, if I am in this situation, I'm never going to see these people again, probably. What would I say? You know? And I think that when you understand what you would say, you understand your purpose, you understand your vision, you understand your mission. And if you're a business owner, you know what you should be selling and serving. By the way, it's about to pour. So I'm going to wrap this up, but thank you to the rain for giving me that, you know, it's not a full 3 minutes, but I feel like I'd have 3 minutes to finish this if I needed to. I hope that you enjoyed this video. You can find out ways that we can work together inside of the description box below. And I look forward to supporting you. That rain is about to pour. I'm sending so much love. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you have any video suggestions or anything you want me to talk about, put it in the comments and I'll maybe do a video on it. we'll see how it flows depending on the comments. I'm sending you so much love.